false flag operation. A false flag operation is when a country or group does something with the intent of making it look like somebody else did it, usually an enemy, to have the justification to do something else, be it declare war on the enemy, or have a reason to increase security measures without being accused of being authoritarian. It most commonly manifests in government attacks against its own country in order to have a reason to attack the fake enemy. Chicken feed. This one is a technique used to gain the target's trust, and it consists of giving him small, seemingly valuable pieces of information, while the real, crucial information is kept hidden. It's important to note that the given info is true, it's just not particularly useful or damaging to the leaker. Canary Trap. A canary trap is a method to find out who is leaking secret information by giving different versions of a sensitive document to each of several suspects and seeing which version gets leaked. This way, the leaked one can be traced back to the person it was given to, and the leaking source can be eliminated. Agent Provocateur. An agent provocateur is someone who is employed to incite others to break the law so that they can be arrested and punished. These agents often infiltrate groups or movements and encourage members to commit illegal acts, thus discrediting the group and providing authorities with a reason to take action against them. Front organization. A front organization is any entity set up by and controlled by another real organization underneath it, and it's used by the real one to do stuff without the actions being attributed to it, thereby allowing it to hide certain activities from the authorities or the public. When used by intelligence agencies, they're mostly used to provide plausible occupations and means of income for their covert agents. Honey trapping. Also called sexpionage, it's the use of sexual relationships for espionage by either distracting the target or by directly gathering information from him. It also refers to an operation designed to compromise an opponent sexually to elicit information from that person, such as taking inappropriate photos of him and threatening to release them if the requested information isn't provided. Sexpionage isn't that good to recruit a foreign official in the long run, but it was employed successfully to solve short-term problems. Need-to-know restrictions. It's a doctrine that ensures the minimum risk of leakage of information possible, and it consists of telling pieces of information only to people who require them to conduct their duties. The goal of this doctrine is to limit access to the smallest possible number of people, and this might mean not giving information, even if one has all the necessary official approvals to access it. An example of this tactic is seen in the Battle of Normandy, where though thousands of military personnel were involved in planning the invasion, only a small number of them knew the entire scope of the operation. The rest were only informed of the data needed to complete a small part of the plan. Cutout. A cutout is a mutually trusted intermediary, method, or channel of communication that facilitates the exchange of information between agents. They usually know only the source and destination of the information to be transmitted, not the identities of any other persons involved in the espionage process, so a captured cutout cannot be used to identify members of an espionage cell. It's also used to isolate the source from the destination, so neither necessarily knows the other. Overall, it fits perfectly into the need-to-know doctrine. Dead drop. This one is a method of passing information or objects without meeting the other agent to both avoid suspicions and the need to know the other agent. It consists of a place, like a mailbox, where the first agent drops the info or object, and after a while, the other agent will come and pick it up. Double agent. A double agent is a secret agent for one country with the goal of spying on the enemy, but he's actually working with the enemy to spy on the country that employed him. It might result from an organized attempt by the enemy to infiltrate the secret service of that country, or it might just be the result of an agent switching sides, be it spontaneously or after he's caught by the enemy. These types of agents are really valuable, and they're usually used to transmit disinformation or to identify other spies. To avoid raising suspicion, the double agent may even be given true, but useless or even counterproductive, information to pass along using the chicken feed technique. Non-official cover. Non-official covers are spies without official ties to the government for which they work. This is in contrast to an operative with official cover, where they assume a position in their government, such as the diplomatic service, which provides them with diplomatic immunity if their espionage activities are discovered. This obviously makes it riskier for the spies, because if they're caught, they're usually subject to severe criminal punishments. Also, their services are never going to be officially acknowledged. These operations have a big advantage for the government, though, since they don't have responsibility for the things that happen during them. One-time pad. A one-time pad is a technique used to encrypt messages that cannot be cracked, but it requires the use of a single-use pre-shared key that is larger than or equal to the size of the message being sent. Each letter or number in the message is combined with a corresponding letter or number from the key to create a coded message. The key is used only once and then destroyed, making the encryption impossible to crack if the key is truly random and kept secret. Number station. These are famous in conspiracy theories and horror movies for how scary they sound, but they're basically just radio stations with a voice, usually generated with a computer, that say seemingly random numbers. These numbers are allegedly encrypted messages with a one-time pad used by spies, and some stations have been active since World War I and have never stopped ever since. They're a form of one-way voice link, which is a method considered unbreakable if the proper instructions are followed, and if the spy can justify having a shortwave radio without being put under technical surveillance. Steganography. It's the mix of techniques used to hide secret messages within ordinary and unsuspectable stuff in such a manner that the presence of the information is not evident to human inspection. There are hundreds of examples of steganography techniques, like invisible ink that appears only under UV light, a CD with seemingly random noises that produces a sound wave with a text or image, or microdots, which are very small images or documents attached to normal, everyday objects that can only be visible with microscopes. Confusion agent. A spy from a country might fake defection and fake wanting to switch sides in order to spread misinformation to the enemy. Their main role is usually just to confuse the enemy, not to retrieve information from them by infiltrating them. Clandestine cell system. This one is the organizational structure for spies that abides by the need-to-know doctrine, making it difficult for the enemy to catch the members within it. It consists of the creation of different cells, with each cell consisting of a relatively small number of people who know little to no information beyond their cell. This limits the harm that can be done to the organization as a whole by any individual cell member that is either defecting, under surveillance, or being interrogated. Limited hangout. It happens when someone's veil of secrecy is shredded, and he can no longer rely on a phony cover story to misinform the public. He resorts to admitting, sometimes even volunteering, some of the truth while still managing to withhold the key and damaging facts in the case. The public is usually so intrigued by the new information that it never thinks to pursue the matter further. Laser listening device. A laser microphone is a surveillance device that uses a laser beam to detect sound vibrations in a distant object, and it can be used to sneakily hear with minimal chance of exposure. The object is typically inside a room where a conversation is taking place and can be anything that can vibrate, like a picture on a wall, in response to the pressure waves created by noises present in the room. The laser beam is directed into the room through a window, reflects off the object, and returns to a receiver that converts the beam to an audio signal. Honeypot website. A honeypot website is a fake website set up to attract people who are about to commit illegal acts or cyber attacks. It looks like a real site, but is designed to gather information on who uses it, and it's mostly common on the deep web, where people might take advantage of the extra anonymity to do naughty stuff. Insecctothopter. This one isn't really used, but I included it because I thought it was pretty cool. The Insecctothopter is an abandoned CIA project to create a fake dragonfly. It was abandoned because the Insecctothopter was found to be too difficult to control in crosswinds, and it was revealed to the public in December 2003 at the CIA Museum. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an idea for the next one, join my Discord, link in the description.